ઓકે ફ્રેન્ડ્સ, અત્યાર સુધી આપણે જે ઇન્ડિયન કોન્સ્ટિટ્યુશન જોઈ નાખ્યું છે. હવે આપણે છે ને કમ્પેરિઝન ઓફ ઇન્ડિયન કોન્સ્ટિટ્યુશન આપણે આની પર ધ્યાન દેવાનું છે. ઓકે, સો યસ, ચાલો મિત્રો. તો ઘણીવાર છે ને કમ્પેરિઝન ઓફ ઇન્ડિયન કોન્સ્ટિટ્યુશન વિથ દેટ ઓફ અધર્સ એની પર પ્રશ્ન આવતો હોય છે, એટલે આપણે આ જે છે આને પણ એક સેપરેટ રીતે વાંચવું જરૂરી છે. ઓકે, સૌથી પહેલાં તો એ જ કે આપણને એ ખબર હોય છે કઈ વસ્તુ ક્યાંથી લીધેલી છે. ઓકે, તો બ્રિટિશ કોન્સ્ટિટ્યુશનથી આપણે પાર્લે બિસ્કિટ લીધું છે. યસ મિત્ર, પાર્લે બિસ્કિટ. So what does that parle biscuit actually mean? So actually there are three P's. Okay, the first is the parliamentary government, prerogative rights and parliamentary privileges. પછી rule of law, legislative procedures, bicameralism, single citizenship and cabinet system. Okay, so these are the things. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 ને 8 વસ્તુ મિત્રો, 8. ઓકે, US કોન્સ્ટિટ્યુશન થी તો US પ્રેસિડેન્ટ નીડ્સ ફંડ ટુ રિમૂવ બાય US પ્રેસિડેન્ટ એન્ડ જ્યુડિશરી. ઓકે, તો US પ્રેસિડેન્ટ ઓફ USA, પછી પ્રેસિડેન્ટ એઝ ધી હેડ ઓફ ઓલ ધ મિલિટરી, પછી ફંડામેન્ટલ રાઇટ્સ, રિમૂવલ ઓફ SC એન્ડ હાઈકોર્ટ જજીસ, ઇમ્પીચમેન્ટ ઓફ પ્રેસિડેન્ટ, યસ, પ્રિએમ્બલ, પોસ્ટ ઓફ વાઇસ પ્રેસિડેન્ટ, independence of judiciary, separation of power and judicial review. Okay, Irish constitution is the LESDP is number 1. So directive principle of the state policy, election method of president. Okay, so election method of president, directive principle of the state policy and nomination of members to the Rajya Sabha. Okay, so no means nomination. Okay, from Canada, can I give Fed's address? Okay, so here governor's office appointment, yes, federation with strong center, Fed, advisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court, okay, and residuary power of center, residuary power rest with center, okay, advisory jurisdiction of Supreme Court again. Australian constitution, तो ऑस्ट्रेलिया કોણ ફ્રીમાં જોઈન્ટ બનાવી આપે. ઓકે, તો પહેલાં તો કોન્કરન્ટ લિસ્ટ, પછી ફ્રીડમ ઓફ ટ્રેડ, કોમર્સ એન્ડ ઇન્ટરકોર્સ, જોઈન્ટ સેટિંગ અને ઓકે જોઈન્ટ સેટિંગ, બસ દેટ્સ ઇટ. જોઈન્ટ સેટિંગ, કોન્કરન્ટ લિસ્ટ, ફ્રીડમ ઓફ ટ્રેડ, કોમર્સ એન્ડ ઇન્ટર એક્સચેન્જ 1, 2 અને 3. ઓકે, જર્મની સસ્પેન્શન ઓફ ફંડામેન્ટલ રાઇટ્સ ડ્યુરિંગ ઇમરજન્સી, Soviet Union fundamental duties and ideals of justice, that is social, economical, political and preamble. French Constitution, a republic and the idea of liberty, equality and fraternity in the preamble. South African Constitution, procedure to amend the constitution and election to the members of Rajya Sabha. Okay, nomination was taken from Irish Constitution. Okay, Japanese procedure established by law and the Curtin Constitution. Okay, now let us see the democratic system of USA and India. Okay, so here it's a elections of executive head. Okay, executive head is the elections to the executive head. Here in India's case, election to the executive head is indirect. Here it is direct. Okay, executive head is president. Here is president, and in our case it is Prime Minister. Election process, county system હોય છે પેલો. ઓકે, કોરિલેશન બિટવીન એક્ઝિક્યુટિવ, જ્યુડિશરી એન્ડ લેજિસ્લેચર, યસ, પછી પ્રિન્સિપલ ઓફ જ્યુડિશરી વર્કિંગ, ઓકે, એન્ડ ફેડરલાઇઝેશન, યસ. પાર્લામેન્ટરી સિસ્ટમ, ઇન્ડિયા વર્સિસ UK, રિપબ્લિકન છે, આપણે રિપબ્લિકન છે, એ લોકો મોનાર્કી છે, કોન્સ્ટિટ્યુશન સુપ્રીમ છે, ત્યાં પાર્લામેન્ટ સુપ્રીમ છે, PM એની કોઈ પણ હાઉસથી હોઈ શકે છે, ત્યાં ખાલી PM લોકસભાથી હોઈ શકે છે. Non-MP can be a member, yes, non-MP cannot be a member. Legal responsibility of British minister, in India's case, legal responsibility is not on ministers. Okay, shadow cabinet હોય છે ત્યાં, આપણે અહીંયા નથી. સ્પીકરના પાવરની વાત કરીએ તો ત્યાં once a speaker, always a speaker. In case of India, it is not that way. Okay, so speaker is free to join his or her political party after he vacates the position of speaker. Okay, federalism, India versus USA. Yes, India is a cooperative federalism. We have single constitution, quasi federal. Yes, federal structure with strong unitary bias. India as a union of state, meaning state has no power or authority to secede from India, on asymmetrical federalism. Okay. Whereas in the case of USA, we have federal system. Yes, each state having its own constitution, and power is shared between federal government and the state government. Okay, and the some of the states still have rights to secede from the United States Federation. Okay, local government, this is not required. I think. Okay, legislature, it consists of two houses. Yes, representative and senate, and in case of India, here Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha. House of Representatives, weakest lower house in the world, 435 members, differ among states. Okay, executive comes from legislature and falls in under its ambit. Okay, so yes, Senate and the world's most powerful in upper house, ordinary bill, amendment bill under its jurisdiction. Senate's house for 6 years term, every 2 years one third retire. Okay, the members of the executive cannot be a member of legislature. And in case of India, we have parliament consists of president, vice president is a chairman, term is 6 years, limited terms vis-a-vis Senate of USA. Okay. Secularism, preamble, no. We have already talked about these things. Okay. Now let us see Western versus Indian secularism. There is a complete separation. Principled equidistance, Article 25 gives rights to each and every individual to practice, propagate, and profess his or her own religion. Okay, and here there is a complete separation. We have state and religion can be in harmonious nature with each other. There is a wall of separation. A state is devoid of religious symbol. There is no wall of separation. Hence, Ashok Chakra, Buddha, Sarnath. So these are the religious symbols that is actually used in the representation of the state. No constitutional status. Yes, there is a constitutional status, Article 25. Social reform not possible. Social reforms possible in case of public order, morality and health. Okay. A neutral mode of engagement, positive mode, state can promote certain religions. No financial support such as health subsidy was given. Total banishment, use of positive intervention. Yes. No rights to minority, Article 29. French religion in private sphere is okay, but we can also have in public sphere in India. No public policy, we have Waqf board, religious endowment. Yes, India, the law seeks to accommodate and multiple religion principles that followers of different religion adhere to. Okay. State provides all religious minorities with the right to establish and maintain their own educational institutions, which can receive assistance from the state. This is for India. Okay. Focus both on inter-religion and intra-religious denomination, because Indian society is not homogeneous, rather it is a multi-religious that has numerous religious denomination and caste under each. Okay. We have laws are made in isolation from religious principles. Okay, in case of the outside. Okay, state cannot give any financial support to the educational institutions run by religious communities. In case of USA, Western secularism, I beg your pardon. Focus is more on intra-religious domination than inter-religious due to its religious homogeneous nature of state. Okay. In case of India, we have active promotions of the religion, whereas in the Turkey, we have the active suppression of religion. Okay. Speaker, the question has already been asked in UPSC 2019 or 20. I'm not sure whether once a speaker, always a speaker should be the norm that should be followed. Okay, judicial system की बात करिए तो judicial system of India and USA. In India and the USA, the Constitution acts as a supreme law of the land, while judiciary acts as the guardian of interpreter of the Constitution. Okay. In India, procedural established by law, due process of law, original jurisdiction on federal matter. This has wider authority. Appellate jurisdiction on constitutional, civil and criminal matters. Constitutional matters only. Special leave to appeal. Okay. No plenary powers. Advisory jurisdiction, no such provisions. Scope of judicial review is limited. Wider scope, yes. Judicial system of India and UK. The judicial system of India and the UK seems to be converging as well as diverging at times. Okay. So we can say that divergence and convergence is in procedural, but not in matter. Okay. Head of the states, President of USA, President Prime Minister of India. Yes. Who is the head of the state? In case of USA, it is President. In case of India, it is Prime Minister. Okay. So Prime Minister versus President in USA. Unlike Indian Prime Minister, American President is not overpowered by the compulsion of coalition politics. Okay. Yes, and in case of India, the elected head of the government is PM, which is executive head. The head of the state is president. President is just a constitutional head. Okay. Citizens cast their vote to elect their representative to Lok Sabha. The party that wins the majority in the seats in the Lok Sabha gets invited by the president to form the government. The citizen cast their ballot in every state to elect members of the electoral college, whom in turn cast electoral vote to determine the president. Okay. The president holds the office for 4 terms, for 5 years. Yes. The leader of party becomes the prime minister. Yes. President is the unlimited term. President can have unlimited terms, whereas here it can have only 2 terms at times. How the office of US president is different from that of Indian president? The manner of election, yes. Head of the state, yes. Title year, yes. Term of office, responsibility to legislature, removal process itself, the impeachment, and Senate power, yes. The emergency powers, the independence of office. Okay. Whereas in case of India, it has to abide by the aid and advice of Council of Ministers. The veto power, pocket veto, yes. No time period versus 10 days. Yes. In case of US, it is 10 days. We do not have any time period. State bills can be reserved for the president's assent, whereas no such power in case of president of USA. Dissolving of legislature, yes. Okay. So this is comparison of the Indian Constitution and some of the institutions. Now let us go into the federalism. Okay. Federalism, that is center and state relations. Okay. Federalism, Granville Austen has called Indian Constitution as cooperative federalism based on Indian peculiar needs. Okay. Maurice Jones has criticized federation with strong centralizing tendencies. Gacy Vairi can be a middle path. He has said that it is a quasi-federal, that is unitary state with subsidiary federal features. Okay. So we know that federal features are already been taken from Government of India Act 1935. Okay, so what are the silent federal features that we see? Okay, let us see them. The first is dual polity, that is Part 5, Article 52 to 151, Part 5, Article 150, Part 6, Article 152 to 237. Okay. Deals with union and the states. Written constitution, division of power, Schedule 7. Supremacy of constitution, we have rigid constitution, independent judiciary, and bicameralism. So this can be seen as federal features of the Indian constitution. What are the unitary features? We can go by this method, like the legislative, executive, financial and judicial level. Unitary features क्या जवाब मिला है? So strong state is not indestructible, Article 1. Single constitution, flexibility of constitution, no equality of state representation. The Sikkim has only one seat while UP has 31. Emergency provisions, Article 252, I beg your pardon, 352, 356, 360. Single citizenship, Article 5. Integrated judiciary, All India Services, Article 3. So bar, integrated audit machinery, Article 148. Parliament's authority over state list, Article 249. Appointment of governor, Article 155. Integrated election machinery, Article 324. Veto over state bill, Article 201. And Finance Commission, Article 280. Okay, so terms of reference can be decided only by the state government. Okay. Why such features? Why do we need an unitary feature? The first is safeguard against the abuse of power, prudence of goal of common welfare, facilitating common political cooperation, give people meaningful power to choose policies, disperse access to power, wealth and resources, okay, satisfying the demand of for recognition, autonomy and resources, allow due policy experimentations, okay, engaging internally at subnational level. So these are the significance. Strengthening federalism, strengthening of horizontal federalism, cooperative federalism, competitive federalism, fiscal federalism. GST Council is a good example. Vital role played by the state government during COVID-19. Federal planning across through Niti Aayog. Okay, so yes, we are strengthening. Critics again, K. Santaran, Financial Sphere and Planning Commission actually impart the federalism. Paul Appleby has written that it is extremely federalism. Okay. Weakening of federalism framework, again you can use it, legal, financial, administrative regionalism. Okay. We see that there is a centralizing tendency, division and alteration of the union. બરાબર. પછી સ્ટેટ કોન્કરન્ટ લિસ્ટ, યસ. ઇવેન્ટ્સ ઇન રિલેશન ટુ દિલ્હી એન્ડ જમ્મુ એન્ડ કાશ્મીર, યસ. ફાર્મ લો, રેઝિંગ રિજનલિસ્ટ ડિમાન્ડ, है ना, જેમ કે સેશનિસ્ટ ટેન્ડન્સી, ગ્રોઈંગ રિજન પાવર મે અફેક્ટ ફોરેન પોલિસી, યસ. મિસયુઝ ઓફ ઓફિસ ઓફ ગવર્નર, incompatibility of state with regards to economic and financial capacity, developmental narratives like one nation, one market can undermine federal principles. Okay. Individual capacity of union undermined in GST Council, discriminatory discretionary grant, yes, no say in term of reference of Finance Commission, a low profile tax with states, yes, conflicting horizontal federalism in case of border and river disputes. Border disputes કયા કયા? તો એક તો પેલો જે છે બેલગાંવ કરીને જગ્યા છે between Karnataka and Maharashtra. Boundary disputes between Assam and the other northeastern states. Okay, river disputes between for Kaveri, we have river disputes for Krishna, we have river disputes for Godavari, Mahadevi, right, Mahadevi, many river disputes. Conclusion માં શું કહી શકાય કે Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has said that Constitution established dual polity. Both union and states are created by the Constitution and both derive their power, respective authorities from the Constitution. So yes, India is a federal state. India has also asymmetric federalism and special provisions for some states. Article 371 Gujarat, Saurashtra and Kutch માટે, Maharashtra, Marathwada and Vidarbha માટે. Article 371A નાગાલેન્ડ માટે છે. ઇકોનોમિક કેમ આ એકચ્યુઅલી એસિમેટ્રિક ફેડરલિઝમ લાવવાનો પાછળ શું છે કે ઇકોનોમિક રીજન્સ તો સ્પેશિયલ કેટેગરી સ્ટેટસ આપવાનું કેમ? તો એ લોકો નોર્થ ઇસ્ટર્ન સ્ટેટ્સ અને હિમાલયન સ્ટેટ્સ ખરેખર ફાઇનાન્શિયલી વીક છે ને એમની કેપેસિટી વીક છે ફાઇનાન્શિયલ રિસોર્સિસ વિકસાવવાના, અને જો એ વિકસાવવા જાય તો આપણી ઘણી ખરી ઇકોલોજીકલ ડેમેજ થઈ શકે છે. ઓકે. પોલિટિકલ ફેક્ટર્સ જેમ કે અકોર્ડ સાઇન કરે તો આસામ અકોર્ડમાં ને એમ બધામાં કીધું હોય. ઓકે. Prevention of group identity, Article Schedule 5 and 6. Cultural regions, the 371G, Mizoram. Historical regions, Daman and Diu. Okay, administrative, Delhi and Andaman Nicobar. Yes. Criticisms which are arbitrariness, shaped by political dynamics, source of tension, and difficult to roll back, Article 370, among others. Okay. Cooperative federalism, જેમ કે ઇન્ટરસ્ટેટ કાઉન્સિલ છે, GST કાઉન્સિલ છે, ઝોનલ કાઉન્સિલ છે, નીતિ આયોગ છે. ઓકે. સેન્ટર સ્ટેટ જોઈએ તો એક્સટેન્શન ઓફ કોન્કરન્ટ લિસ્ટ, ફ્રીડમ ઓફ ઇન્ટરસ્ટેટ ટ્રેડ એન્ડ કોમર્સ, યસ. જોઈન્ટ સિટિંગ પ્રોવિઝન ઇન પાર્લામેન્ટ, ઓલ ઇન્ડિયા સર્વિસ, legislation of any law by parliament for 2 or more states, mutual delegation of executive responsibility, interstate water dispute, among others. Okay. Interstate Public Act records judicial proceedings of the union of states shall be treated equally throughout the country. Okay. So these are the, okay, let us again look from the top. Existence of concurrent list, freedom of interstate trade and commerce, joint sitting provision for parliament, all India services, legislation on any law by Parliament for 2 or more states, mutual delegation of executive responsibility, interstate water disputes. બરાબર, interstate હોય તો શું? Public act records and judicial proceedings of the union or state shall be treated equally throughout the country. ઇસ્યુ શું છે? Case filed against certain law. Okay. Rise of regional parties, demand for smaller states, secessionist tendency in northeastern states and Jammu and Kashmir, growing discontent among southern states because of the term of reference. Okay. Competitive federalism examples શું છે? Evidence based award system, lead system, water composite management index, financial incentives, discom reforms, para diplomacy, eastern social economic forum ની અંદર ગુજરાતને નહીં બધા લઈ ગયેલા. ઓકે. કોન્ફ્લિક્ટિંગ ફેડરલિઝમ તો છે જ આપણે અહીંયા, તો એ તો આપણે બધાને ખબર જ છે ફેડરલિઝમના ઇશ્યુઝ. ઓકે. વોટ ઇઝ ધ વે ફોરવર્ડ? તો સરકારિયા અને પંચી જે છે એમનો ઉપયોગ કરી શકીએ છીએ. સરકારિયા કમિશન છે, પંચી કમિશન છે, સેકન્ડ ARC છે, NCRWC છે, અને આમને હંમેશા આમના શોલ્ડર ઉપરથી બધું ફેરવાનું આપણે એ કરીશું હમણાં કમિટીઝને બધું. ફોસ્ટર ધ સ્પિરિટ ઓફ કોમ્પિટિટિવ એન્ડ કોઓપરેટિવ ફેડરલિઝમ. ઓકે ચાલો. સેન્ટર સ્ટેટ રિલેશન, તો લેજિસ્લેટિવ રિલેશન્સ કયા કયા છે એ જોઈ લઈએ. આર્ટિકલ 245 થી 255 ઓફ પાર્ટ 9, પાર્ટ 11 I beg your pardon. તો ટેરિટોરિયલ એક્સટેન્ટ ઓફ સેન્ટ્રલ એન્ડ સ્ટેટ લેજિસ્લેચર, distribution of legislative subjects, parliamentary legislation in the state field when Rajya Sabha passes resolution in national interest. Okay. Number 1, during national emergency 250, when state request 252, international treaty 253, all India service 312, president rule 356 અને all India service 312. ઓકે, આ તો પાછું બીજી વાર આવી ગયું. ઓકે. પછી સેન્ટ્રલ કંટ્રોલ ઓવર સ્ટેટ લેજિસ્લેટિવ એસેમ્બલી, તો રિઝર્વ બિલ આર્ટિકલ 201, બિલ ઇન સ્ટેટ લેજિસ્લેટિવ એસેમ્બલી વિથ પ્રેસિડેન્ટ સેન્ક્શન. ઓકે. રેસ્ટ્રિક્શન ઓન ફ્રીડમ ઓફ ટ્રેડ એન્ડ કોમર્સ, બરાબર. ફાઇનાન્શિયલ ઇમરજન્સી આર્ટિકલ 360. ઓકે. એડમિનિસ્ટ્રેટિવ રિલેશન્સ, તો ડિસ્ટ્રીબ્યુશન ઓફ એક્ઝિક્યુટિવ પાવર, ઓબ્લિગેશન ઓફ સ્ટેટ એન્ડ સેન્ટર્સ ડાયરેક્શન ટુ ધ સ્ટેટ, મ્યુચ્યુઅલ ડેલિગેશન ઓફ ફંક્શન્સ, cooperation between central and state, all India service, public service commission, integrated judiciary, relation during emergencies, other provisions, extra constitutional devices. Okay. ફાઇનાન્શિયલ રિલેશન્સ આઈ થિંક આ તો બહુ વસ્તુ વધારે થઈ જશે, એનો કોઈ મતલબ નહીં બનતો. ઓકે. interstate relations, adjudication of interstate water dispute, coordination between through interstate councils 263, mutual delegation of public act records and judicial proceedings article 261, freedom of interstate trade, commerce and intercourse, zonal council under state reorganization act 1956. Okay. Center state relations during COVID-19, તો COVID-19 તો ગયો એટલે સેન્ટર સ્ટેટ રિલેશન પણ ગયો. ઓકે. ડિમાન્ડ ફોર 6th શેડ્યુલ આંધ્રપ્રદેશ આર્ટિકલ 244 and 275. ઓટોનોમસ ડિસ્ટ્રિક્ટ કાઉન્સિલ, પછી ઓટોનોમસ રિજન, લેજિસ્લેટિવ પાવર્સ, limitation of power of parliament and state legislature, judicial powers, regulatory powers, tax revenue collection. So these are the benefits under 6th schedule. Okay. Problems are that there is no decentralization of power and administration. Legislature power of state prevails over ADC decision. Okay. So તો કોઈ મતલબ જ ના રહે એવું થયું. લેક ઓફ કોડિફિકેશન ઓફ કસ્ટમરી લોસ, સ્કિલ્ડ પ્રોફેશનલ નથી હોતા, લેક ઓફ વુમન રિઝર્વેશન એસ્પેશિયલી ઇન નાગાલેન્ડ. ઓકે. ક્રિએશન ઓફ ઇલેક્ટેડ વિલેજ કાઉન્સિલ, રેગ્યુલર ઇલેક્શન્સ થવા જોઈએ, રિઝર્વેશન હોવી જોઈએ, વિધાન પરિષદ હોય કે એની અંદર આ લોકોને પણ એમનું રિપ્રેઝન્ટેશન મળે. નેશનલ કમિશન ફોર ST છે એમણે રિકમેન્ડ કરેલું હતું કે લદ્દાખને પણ એક શેડ્યુલમાં નાખો. ઓકે. કોન્કરન્ટ લિસ્ટવાળો મિત્રો પણ ઘણું બધું ફોર ચર્ચિત હોય છે. શેડ્યુલ 7, તો કોન્સ્ટિટ્યુશન પ્રોવાઇડ્સ scheme for demarcation of power through 3 lists in the 7th schedule. Okay. Schedule 7 of the constitution. List જોઈએ તો મહત્વનો જોઈએ એજ્યુકેશન છે. ઓકે. પોપ્યુલેશન કંટ્રોલ એન્ડ ફેમિલી પ્લાનિંગ છે, criminal law છે, prevention of cruelty of animals છે, protection of wildlife and forest and climate change. Okay. Why concurrent list? To ensure uniformity. Yes. Few concurrent list subjects require huge finances. Yes. Needing both center and state to contribute. Service delivery. Yes. Reduce dispute in interstate matters. Yes. Example: water is a state subject which restricts flow of water across the state. For pan-India laws, okay, UGC to regulate education, unity and improve cultural harmony. Okay, 6. Achieving balance of economic development. 7. And bolster the spirit of cooperation. Okay, 8. આટલા પોઈન્ટ્સ લખ્યા બહુ ફાયદો થઈ જાય ભાઈ. ઇશ્યુઝ શું છે? ઇશ્યુઝ કોન્કરન્સ સાથે તો કંઈક તો સૌથી પહેલાં કે ફાઇનાન્શિયલ હર્ડલ છે, લિમિટેડ કેપેસિટી ઓફ સ્ટેટ ટુ ફંડ ધી પ્રોજેક્ટ. યસ. Autonomy of state is hampered. Encroachment in state subject such as GST against the competitive federalism as regional issues are not taken into consideration. Yes. Centralizing tendencies against the spirit of cooperative federalism. 14th Finance Commission devolved 42% of the finances. Okay. Archaic, the Government of India Act 1935, which delineated this list. So now there's a need for a separate set of reforms in the list. Okay. Federal tension increases. Yes. Say for an instance, NEET in Tamil Nadu. Okay. Inappropriate placement, agriculture and water. Okay. Balance between flexibility and uniformity. Okay. Example: anti-terrorist law, Lokpal bill, issue with GST and others act, where state's power is taken away in clocked manner. Okay. Centralization of power. Yes. 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act 1976. Okay, this is a trick. WAFE. So we know that weight and measurement, administration of justice, forest, education, protection of wildlife, animals and the birds. Okay, so yes. So all in all, we can see that there has been a centralizing tendencies too. So what we can do is that actually concurrent listની અંદર જે પણ એવું લાગતું હોય કે અમુક રિકમેન્ડેશન કમિટી કીધેલી છે તો એ બધી એ રીતે આપણે ચેન્જ કરી નાખવી જોઈએ. જેમ કે મિહિર શાહ કમિટી કીધેલું કે વોટરને કોન્કરન્ટ લિસ્ટમાં લખાવો. ઓકે. એગ્રીકલ્ચર છે એને કોન્કરન્ટ લિસ્ટમાં લઈ આવી શકાય છે. ઓકે. આ રીતનું કરી શકાય કે અમુક જે છે મેઇન રિફોર્મ્સ લાયા જો બધાની જરૂર નહીં પડે પણ અમુક લિસ્ટની અંદર અમેન્ડમેન્ટ લાવવા જરૂરી છે. ઓકે. પછી કોન્કરન્ટ લિસ્ટમાં જે પણ લો બનાવતા હોય તો પંચી કમિશને કીધેલું છે કોન્કરન્ટ લિસ્ટ ઉપર જો કોઈ લો બનાવતા હોય છે તો એમાં સ્ટેટને રિકમેન્ડેશન લેવો, એની સલાહ સૂચન કરો. ઓકે. ઓકે, ચાલો પછી આજે લોકલ બોડીઝ કરી નાખશો હમણાં, અને પછી સેપરેશન ઓફ પાવર અને પાર્લામેન્ટ આપણે પછી માટે રાખશું. ઓકે. લોકલ બોડીઝ કરી નાખી એના પહેલાં આપણે ખાલી 5 મિનિટનો બ્રેક લઈ લઈશું. આઈ થિંક 1 જ મિનિટનો લઈએ. ઓકે. ઓકે, ચાલો મિત્રો આપણે લોકલ બોડીઝ વિશે પણ ચાલુ કરી દઈએ, પછી આપણે અંત કરીશું. ઓકે, ઇન્ટ્રોડક્શનની વાત કરીએ તો PRI આર એમ્બોડીમેન્ટ ઓફ ગ્રાસ રૂટ ડેમોક્રેસી એન્ડ ડેમોક્રેટિક ડિસેન્ટ્રલાઇઝેશન બેઝડ ઓન ધી ગાંધીયન્સ ઓશનિક સર્કલ ઓફ પાવર. Yes, 73rd Constitutional Amendment bestowed the constitutional legitimacy to PRI by giving a practical shape to Article 40. It is based on the recommendation of Balwant Rai, Ashok Mehta, G.V.K. Rao, and L.M. Sanghvi Bags. Okay. Yet it is a half-baked cake. It suffers from crisis of legitimacy, and it has not failed, but it is made to fail. So you can use any of the statements to create your introduction. What I do is that the Panchayati Raj institution are bestowed with constitutional legitimacy under by wide 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act to give a practical shape to Article 40. Okay. What are the compulsory provisions and there are voluntary provisions? We need to at least have this knowledge. Okay. So there should be a Gram Sabha 3-tier system, elections to the member of chairman, reservation of seats, duration of panchayat, disqualification, state election commission, finance commission, audit of accounts, application of UT, exempted states in areas, continuance of existing law and panchayats, bar to interference by court in electoral matters, and 11th schedule. So these are compulsory provisions. There are some voluntary provisions, giving representation to MPs and MLAs in panchayat, reservation for backward class, granting power and authority to function as institutions of self-government. Okay, once again, giving representation to MPs and MLAs in panchayat, reservation for backward class, granting power and authority to function as an institute of self-government, devolution of power and responsibilities to plan economic development, social justice, granting financial. So mostly 3F, what we say about fund, functions and functionaries. So this are added into voluntary provision. It was a mega bargain between center and states. So in order to implement this 73rd and 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, there was a huge bargain by states that what powers will be given, what cannot be given. So this important functions are added in the voluntary provisions. Okay. Significance, yes, political, social, economic and ethical. Okay. Grassroots democracy, economic might almost 60% of GDP. Yes. Okay. Chalo. What are the significance? Certainty, continuity and strength. Okay. Giving power to powerless and voice to voiceless. Human dignity, yes, amplified the voice of marginalized section by a reservation. Okay. But good governance and sustainable development. Okay. Community participation, which according to Agenda 21 is prerequisite for sustainable development. Okay. Village vehicle of achieving SDG like zero hunger. Intrinsic and educative value. Amartya Sen has told this. Vibrant democracy, Ashok Mehta, drilling the seeds of democracy in Indian soil. Okay. Effective public service delivery, social audit under Article 243J. Okay. Democratization of the development. Democracy to the doorsteps of rural India. Okay. Oceanic circle of power, Gram Sabha as the center of power. Participatory bottom of planning. Okay. Fighting COVID-19 pandemic in Kerala. Yes. What is it? Participatory bottom-up planning. Article 243G stipulates panchayat to plan economic development and social justice. Okay. Financial stream. Article 243I State Finance Commission. Okay. From bureaucracy-led development model to people-led development model. Okay. Social sector expenditure model of panchayats. Panchayat-driven social sector expenditure model. Agent of social change. Fatima B in Andhra Pradesh awarded UNDP for her race against poverty. Okay. What are the issues? Bureaucratization of Panchayati Raj. Yes, excessive control by bureaucracy is still prevalent. Status of Gram Sabha. Though it is a soul of Panchayati Raj institution, it is meets not more than 2 times in a year. It is a bogus meetings. Okay. Sarpanch Raj and nexus between bureaucrats, sarpanch and politicians have increased. The creation of parastatal bodies such as special purpose vehicles. Okay. Haryana government in fact has created rural development agencies. Okay. Poor infrastructure, supply driven experiment, top down approach. Okay. With respect to reservations, Sarpanch Pati syndrome, yes, lack of autonomy of state election commission, irregular elections, Pondicherry, no elections has been conducted since 2011. Partition manner, Goa, SEZ headed by serving government officer, leading to a non-adherence to the doctrine of neutrality. Okay, decentralization of corruption. Again, Manishankar Iyer committee has said this. Lack capacity to develop economic and social plan, social audit. Okay. With respect to funds, internal resource generation at panchayati level is very weak. Okay, implementing agency tied nature of funds overwhelmingly dependent on government fundings. Okay, state finance commission report not stable in many states. Own revenue generated by panchayat is only 5% of its revenue as per economic survey 2018. 4% of the local spending by panchayat compared to 14% in OECDs. Okay. State Finance Commission recommendation acceptance is very low at 11% in Karnataka. Okay. Finance Commission, the performance-based grants reduced to mere 8,000 crore, that to municipality and not for panchayats. Okay, so performance-based grant is not being provided to panchayati raj institutions. What are the government efforts? 15th Finance Commission increased the divisible pool of fund from 0.78 to 4.23%. Okay. Increase of 52% from 14th Finance Commission. What are the reforms suggested? At the state level, repeal Urban Land Ceiling Regulation Act 1976, reform rent control law, rationalization of stamp duty, e-governance. At the urban local body level, municipality accounting, property tax with GIS. Manishankar Iyer committee has recommended panchayat driven social sector expenditure model, National Panchayat Commission. Okay. Then there are certain reforms by second ARC which we will be studying in the subsequent lectures. Way forward, to realize the vision of Gram Uday, say Bharat Uday, the second generational reforms are needed. A reform needs to be made to strengthen PRI, as Ram Rajya would be incomplete without Gram Rajya. Okay, so you can use this as a very good conclusion. To realize the vision of Gram Uday, say Bharat Uday, the second generational reform is needed. Reforms need to be made to strengthen PRI, as Ram Rajya would be incomplete without Gram Rajya. Okay. Okay. Talking about urban bodies. Okay. Urban bodies are statutorily helplessness. Okay. They have all the constitutional status under 74th Constitutional Amendment Act, and yet it is almost helpless because state itself, if you look at the state list, all the tasks that state government does is actually nothing but a type of task that is performed by municipalities. Okay, why neglect modern leadership against the cities like Gandhiji? Okay, I regard the growth of cities as evil thing and unfortunate for mankind in the world. Political economy of development focus on rural India. Okay, taking center stage. When did it start to take center stage? After LPG reforms, new education policy, new economic policy, demographic shift, social change, sine qua non for meeting India's international commitments. Yes, okay. Issues 3F, yes, fund, function, and functionaries. Will talk in that manner only, in that framework itself. Okay, funds. Low municipality revenue to GDP ratio is almost 1% of the GDP. Declining own revenue from 55% to only 43% of the own revenue generation. Low diversification of tax resources. Property tax is only available means of extracting revenue. Poor tax collection, yes, 18% of the property tax is collected. For which government has enacted Swamitva Yojana, which will come into urban cities itself too in the near future. Low borrowing, municipality borrowing, including municipality bond, accounts for only 2 to 3% of the municipality revenue. Okay. Subsume of taxes into GST, such as entertainment tax. Yes, so these are the issues with fund. Functions, urban planning, only 9 out of 18 cities have constituted Metropolitan Planning Committee under Article 243. 243ZE. Okay. Wait a minute. Okay. Lack of financial autonomy. Only 20 cities out of 111 cities surveyed have power to borrow and invest funds without state's approval. Okay. While latitude of discretion with states to determine functional decentralization. Non-standardized and inconsistent decentralization, variation in range and depth, creation of parallel bodies, weak and ineffective district planning committees. Okay. Limited role in urban disasters. Centralized federation, low political weightage representation of urban areas in parliament. States unwilling to lose control over cities as economic powerhouse, such as Mumbai and Bengaluru. States unwilling to lose control over the cities as the economic powerhouse. Okay. Parastatal agencies, special purpose vehicle for smart cities. Issue of developmental trap. The political liberalization did not match the pace of economic liberalization, which led to increased private wealth while poor infrastructure. Okay. Functionaries, low staff, yes. Number of officers is very less compared to South Africa, where it's 3,000, whereas in Mumbai, which has the highest number of officers, is at only 938. Okay. Mayor system, low power, insecurity of tenure, title your head. Citizen charter and municipality is limited. Non accountability, lack of oversight if violation, statewide variation, no clear human resource policy for non-elected staff. Okay. Way forward, Panchayat Ombudsman in Kerala is very efficient. Panchayat cadre, Panchayat staff recruitment reforms, performance-based payment. Okay. What are the government efforts? Foster competition through municipality performance index, Amrut scheme, smart city, PM Awas Yojana, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, urban, performance-based grant, new source of revenue, PPP, various indexes such as good governance index, voter index. Okay. What could be way forward? Draft National Urban Policy Framework, second ARC, NCRWC, municipality legislatures, yes, Area Sabha, second ARC has recommended this. Model Nagar Raj Bill, okay, Niti Aayog draft dedicated municipality cadre, okay. So we can think on these lines. Education in local bodies, this is a very old thing, so you don't remember this anymore. PESA Act 1986, Article 243M restricts to the tribal and scheduled areas. Okay, so Bhuria Commission was established. 10 states which has the scheduled areas, reservation of chairman for tribals, rehabilitation and land requisition. 2. The powers rest with the tribals. Okay. Gram Sabhas in this area. Okay. So what is PESA? Is prevention of, beg your pardon, promotion and extension, Panchayati Raj extension in scheduled areas. Okay. Yes. Self-rule, safeguards, empower panchayats, prevent panchayats at a higher level from assuming power and authority of the panchayats at the lower level of Gram Sabha. The case study is Niyamgiri Hill case, yes, which was a very good example of how the PESA Act and the Panchayati Raj extension in this areas helped them secure their land rights. Okay. What are the limitations? Only 4 states have created. The 4 states still do not have any PESA rules. Bypassing law for land acquisition by Chhattisgarh, Korba district land acquired using Coal Bearing Act. Okay, 2010 studies of PESA by IIP suggest that poor implementation, Khoti in Jharkhand, 65% land acquired without permission. Okay, there's no clarity, political will is lacking, legal infirmity, bureaucratic apathy, resistance to change in hierarchy of power. Okay, so yes, we also need MESA Act, that is Municipality Extension in Scheduled Areas. Okay, so that's the way forward. So this is it, my friends. We have detailed analysis of local bodies, and I think આનાથી આગળ આપણે કશું કરવાની જરૂર પડશે નહીં. કાલથી આપણે જે છે SOP અને જે પાર્ટ 2 પાર્ટ 3 ઓફ ધી પોલિટી આગળ આવશે. ઓકે, થેન્ક યુ વેરી મચ.